Hey, what's going on? So, I'm going back and reading the most recent article released by the White House regarding the forbearance and foreclosure um, moratorium. Moratorium. Have a hard time pronouncing that word. Anyway, so basically it says that, and this was, back in February, middle of February, this came out. And so at that time, they were saying that 1 in 5 renters were behind on rent. And it also says that over 10 million homeowners are behind on their mortgage payments. And so basically, what the Biden administration did was they extended the moratorium down to June 30th of this year, 2021, and to try and help homeowners, from going into foreclosure and that kind of thing. And so, interesting, it doesn't mention what's going to happen with renters. So, anyway, this kind of opens up the conversation for, a lot of debates as far as what could happen. And there's a number of experts that I follow that talk about real estate, and I kind of agree with many of them when they say that we may not see a whole flood of foreclosures on the market, but I think what will happen though is that banks, once the moratorium, did I say that right? Moratorium. Once that expires, then banks are going to go in and, well, first they're going to want to collect their money. People are going to be behind on payments, and so I think that for the most part they'll try their best to work with people, whether it's modifying their loans, adding their back payments to the back of their loan. I think that a lot of people, and I know this because there's a couple of families that I've spoke with who stopped making their payments during the pandemic, and not necessarily because they had a hardship, because their work slowed or whatever. They just stopped making payments because they could, and they knew they had the protection of not being kicked out and being foreclosed on. So what a lot of us believe is that many of these people stopped making their payments not because they couldn't make their payments, but because they could. And so I think that a lot of these people are gonna end up losing their homes, and they're gonna lose all that equity, which right now, I mean, if you bought even last year, you have equity in your house. And if you bought, somewhere around after 2012, at 2012, there was still tons of foreclosures and short sales on the market. And so if you bought during that time, chances are that you have tons of equity. And if you are behind on payments, if you're somebody that's behind on payments, then you definitely want to look into selling right now, because this is the time to get the absolute most for your house. And I know that the big concern for people is, if they sell, where are they going to move to next? And so that is why, I've been talking about the Dream Home Finder program. Nobody else here in town offers it. And this is great for people in this situation that may be behind on payments, that should sell their house right now in this crazy hot market and get the absolute most out of the sale. Now, to address the concern about potentially not finding the next home, the Dream Home Finder is a program that allows you to look for houses that are not listed, they're not on the MLS, they're basically pre-market. And what I do basically is I spend my own marketing money to go out and find homes for sale that are not on the market. And so this is something I do. I spend up to $2,000 for my clients to market in specific areas, neighborhoods that they're interested in order to find their perfect home. And so if you're in a situation where you maybe behind on your mortgage payments, you definitely want to chat with me and see what we can do as far as netting you the most for your home in today's market, and then helping you find your next home using the Dream Home Finder program. So if you have more questions about it, reach out to me. Let's talk. I can't do this for everybody, but let's get a conversation going and see if you would be a good fit for this program. So this is Gerardo, iPro Realty. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.